Good morning. It is Friday. It is lovely British morning. Yes, British morning. My name is Casey, and because I'm aware that I may have some new people tuning in this morning, this is a new endeavor that I'm starting on. I may have some people that are back that normally watch my D&D stuff. If so, thank you. I appreciate it. But for anyone who's not familiar with my stuff already, basically I decided a few months back that I drive to work every morning. I usually end up mumbling things to myself as I go. I figured why not mumble them to my phone and post them on YouTube? Because why not? This morning is slightly different than the normal, because instead of mumbling things about Dungeons and Dragons or about role-playing games in general, I want to mumble some things about Disney. Now, background on Disney and me. I went a few times whenever I was very young as a child to Disneyland in California. We used to live out there nearby it, so we went occasionally. For years and years, didn't have any association at all with Disney. Then, this past year, 2017, we decided to take our grandkids. Yes, I have grandkids. So, me, my wife, her son and his wife, and our grandkids, 3 and 1, packed off and headed off to Disneyworld, Florida for a 2-week holiday that quite genuinely blew my mind. I never expected to fall in love with it the way I did. But I couldn't say anything wrong, anything negative about it. And we're hooked, in short. I guess that's the best way to say it. We're hooked. So my wife and I are going back this year, on our own this time, for our 10-year anniversary, for another 2 weeks. And I figured in the lead up to that, why not discuss it? So this series is going to be talking about things that I did the last time we were in the parks, attractions that I liked, attractions that maybe weren't on top of my list, restaurants, of course. It's also going to be talking about Disney planning and what I'm going to be doing along each step to get ready to go to Disney. So, by all means, subscribe, like, if you're interested, hit that bell icon so that you can keep informed. Like I said, Monday through Thursday I do post Dungeons and Dragons content, but I will keep this on a separate playlist so that if you only are interested in this, you won't be bothered by the rest of the stuff I post. Now, starting out, I just wanted to kind of hit the high points of what I've done so far. So my wife and I have decided that when we go back this time around, we want to go in the end of September, the beginning of October. The reason for that time frame is, 1, we said we're going back for our anniversary, and 2, it's just after most U.S. schools have gone back, so it should be a quieter time. We understand that it's not the quietest time of the year. There are a couple areas of the year that are smaller, but it lines up nicely with our anniversary, so we thought that was a good way to go about it. Hotel choice is the other one. That was the next big thing for us, and we spent a lot of time going back and forth on different hotels. Now, this may sound slightly snobbish, I don't know, it may not, but we decided that because we're not going with kids, it's just me and my wife, we're going for a nice anniversary visit, we discounted all of the value resorts immediately. I have heard a couple of them are quite nice, but they just didn't really fit the style of what we wanted to be doing. We stayed at the Port Orleans French Quarter the last time we were there, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, unfortunately, the French Quarter did not have any availability this time around. We've gone back and forth over whether or not we wanted to upgrade to a deluxe for this trip. And we looked quite heavily at the Contemporary Resort. My car's angry at me because of the temperature. Sorry about that. Yeah, we looked quite heavily at the Contemporary. But unfortunately, we started looking into it, and there was no availability at that resort for the nights that we wanted to go for a wheelchair accessible room. My wife is in a wheelchair, so we do need a wheelchair accessible room, so that one was out. We were, however, able to find a space for us at the Riverside Resort. So that's quite good. Port Orleans Riverside, for those who are not aware of it, is kind of part of the same resort as Port Orleans French Quarter. They're separated by about a 5-minute walk along a riverside. Riverside is a much bigger resort than French Quarter, but I've heard that it's beautiful. I've heard very positive things about it, and from our experience with the French Quarter, we don't expect any problems at all with it. So we've chosen our resort. We went ahead and we booked that. Because of the fact that wheelchair rooms were scarce, we booked that early. Now, what that means then is that we have our dates. Now, for anyone who's wanting to do Disney planning, that's obviously where you're going to start. You know the dates you're going. Now, I will post my spreadsheet, probably not with this video, maybe with the next one, when I start getting into it a bit more. But I built a spreadsheet to start planning everything out. Now, that's a bit complicated this far out, because a lot of things have not been announced yet. We don't have dates for things like the Halloween parties, and that affects the park opening hours. We don't have the magic hours specifically for that time of the year announced yet. Now, magic hours do follow a set pattern, but that pattern does change from time to time. So what I've done is on my spreadsheet, I've marked out the current magic hours pattern, and then I will check closer to the time and see if that pattern has changed and update it if need be. So there we are. That's where I'm going to stop for today. We've got the trip booked. We've got our hotel chosen. I'll go into more detail on why we've chosen specifically the hotel we have and what I've heard about some of the other hotels in the future. And I've got my spreadsheet set up with the dates that we're going and the magic hours parks for those dates. From there, we'll pick up the rest of it next Friday. I hope you've enjoyed this. It was basically a quick introduction to the information that will be coming. Have a great day, and I will see you later on.